It's time for the Margin Matters Minute with Money Man Jason Brown.
All right, welcome back to the channel. Jason Brown here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are new to the channel, I really appreciate you stopping by. And if you are a returning viewer, I truly appreciate your support. Now today, I wanted to share the story of how I decided to go to grad school, because I know a lot of people are wrestling with this. Should I continue my education? Try to put myself in a better position in the job market, upward mobility, maybe get a higher salary or a better, more prestigious position, if you will. And should I even go to school? What should I do? Is it even worth it? So I wanted to just share a little bit of my story on my decision process and the opportunity that I had to further my education with a master's degree a few years back. So basically, I was out of school. I got a bachelor's degree, and I had been out of school for about 15 years. So it's been quite some time since I've been in the classroom setting. So I had a job at a local university here in just north of Atlanta called Kennesaw State University. I was a full-time employee of the university, doing marketing work, and the opportunity was presented to employees, that not just me, all employees of the university system have the opportunity to further their education for free, which is paid for by the school. It's called the Tuition Assistance Program, and they call it TAP, which is an acronym for it. So that would basically cover tuition, but I would have to be responsible for everything else, like books or any incidentals. If I needed a laptop or software or anything like that, I would have to pay for that out of my pocket. So I would have tuition covered. So I thought about this for quite some time. So there's two barriers to going to school: financial and time. Okay, so I had the financial barrier was going to be removed since I was an employee of the school. So that's a huge barrier, maybe the biggest barrier for most of us. But the second barrier, which was equally big for me, was the time. Would I have time to do this? Would I have time to work all day and then go to school at night? Also knowing that my wife and I were about to have our first child. So this really factored into the decision. Would I even be able to do this? Do I need to stay home and be a father? You know, this was a very difficult decision for me. So basically what happened was I thought about this for an entire year. Okay, so this wasn't a decision that I made on a whim or took very lightly. This was a decision that I thought about for a while. And during that year, I just went ahead and started preparing, because I had been out of school for so long. So I had to take the GRE exam to get into grad school. So that was one of the things I had to do to get into grad school, one of many. So I had to prepare for that. So I took, there's several online prep courses that I took. They also offer in classroom as well, but it's a lot more expensive. So I did the online. There's a math and a verbal section. So I did the two online prep courses. I want to say those were a couple $100 each. So that was part of my year of preparing, was to prepare for this GRE. So I went ahead and took the GRE at the end of that year. This was 2015. Spent the whole year 2015 preparing. And then, so basically what happened was I decided that I would have more regret not at least trying for this versus, not doing it. So let me at least try to get in this grad program. I probably have no chance. My undergraduate GPA was not anything to be excited about. I think I had like a 2.7 GPA, which I was like, well, once I see my transcript, I'm done for. So I had to, it was basically like applying for a job. I had to get people to write me letters of recommendation. This was actually a writing program, a professional writing program. So I had to submit writing samples. I had to submit my resume. I had to submit the application. I had to pay all these fees. go take the GRE exam, etc. So there was a lot of things that I had to do to prepare for it. So basically the decision was made to, I'm just going to go ahead and go for it, and we'll see what happens. Now, the other thing in this whole decision process was, is this even going to be worth, is this degree, what is this degree worth? Even if I'm getting it for free, I'm still trading my time, a lot of time for this, right? So what is the value of this degree? I had no idea. I really didn't know. Is this going to help me in my career? Will I be able to have better job opportunities? Will I be able to increase my salary? Will I be able to get a promotion or a raise? Or will this open, avenues to other, job markets for me? All of this was a huge unknown to me. So I was really taking a big risk in my mind to do this. But I wanted to do it. I wanted to challenge myself. I figured it was worth the risk. Even if nothing came of it, I would still be more educated. I would have a higher degree. And I think it would eventually give me more leverage in the job market. It would certainly look nice on my resume to say I have a master's degree. So I decided to go ahead and go for it with really not even knowing what was going to come of it. There was no guaranteed job at the end of this. Like, oh, if you get this master's degree, you're going to get this higher ranking job. None of that. Like, there was no incentive at all for this to me. Just the satisfaction of knowing that I earned a master's degree that around 10% of Americans hold a master's or higher degree in our country. So I would be an exclusive company. I would at least have some bragging rights to be proud of. So I went ahead and went for it. It was the fall of 2015 where I got the acceptance letter from Kennesaw State University, which I probably fainted when I got the letter. And actually, what's interesting is they actually sent me two letters. It was the same letter from two different departments accepting me to the program, which of course I saved, and I probably will save forever. And very exciting moment to get in. And so I started the program in January of 2016. Took me about 3 calendar years to finish it. And, it was very difficult. It was very challenging. I worked 7 to 6, and I had class at 6:30. So I would just drive across the street to the campus and go to class. And I would have class 2 nights a week. So 2 nights a week, and those were long classes. So I would take 2 classes at a time, 2 classes per semester. And those classes were almost 3 hours long, about 2 hours and 45 minutes. I think they were like 6:30 to 9:15, or I don't know, something like that. And it was very difficult. It was very challenging. But when I started it, it's a funny story. My first day, my first hour in class, I sat there and I was terrified. I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done to myself? This is crazy. And it felt like I was in prison. I was like, how am I going to get out of this? I'm screwed. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm in way over my head. I'm in class with students way younger than me. It was very intimidating. Just the words grad school were very intimidating to me. So I had a lot of anxiety. So I had to work through all that. Things got better. I started building more confidence in what I was doing and making friends and developing relationships with the professors, etc. So at the end of the day, I'll skip to December of 2018. That's when I finished the program and graduated. And again, I didn't know what was going to come of this, but a job opportunity came up during my last semester, which I wasn't even searching for or applying for. It was just brought to my attention that there was a job opportunity, and it was a technical writer and editor position. And this kind of aligned up perfectly with the degree I was getting. It was a master's in professional writing. So this opportunity came up with another company, and I ended up not even formally interviewing for it. I just met some people for lunch. Everything went well. They hired me. I was shocked. So the master's degree did prove worth my time and effort to obtain, because it did put me in a better job position, gave me some more leverage. So I now work in a little bit more high profile of a job, a little bit higher of a salary range, which again, I wasn't expecting any of that to happen. I was just trying to, better myself, and let's see what happens. So it was, I do feel truly blessed by everything that's happened, but there was a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice. It was very, very difficult on my wife to be home all those nights with our newborn son, which to this day is something that is very hard for me to think back on. And I was very torn during those times where I was not able to be available. But the mindset with me was, when I went into the program, I was like, okay, I know this is just a temporary situation. Like I talked about, it felt like I was in prison. How do I get out? I just kept telling myself, this is all just temporary. I'm going to get through it. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be better for it. And lo and behold, I got through it. And now I look back on it, and it just went by really, really fast. When the time that I was in it, it went by very, very slow. So again, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. But I just wanted to share that story in case you were maybe considering, advancing your education in any form or facet. It doesn't have to be master's degree or grad school. It could be, online learning or continuing education, or doing an apprenticeship, or going to trade school, or changing careers. My advice is go for it. Think about, would you have greater regret not doing it, and thinking back, well, maybe I should have done that. Which would you have greater regret of thinking? So this is Jason Brown saying thanks so much for listening to my story. I hope it helped you if you were considering grad school or any further education. I'm glad I did it. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it for me at the end. And it's been a tremendous opportunity for me. It's really given me a lot more confidence in what I do. So until next time, Jason Brown saying thanks so much for all your support. You can check out more of what I do on my website, yourmarginmatters.com. And don't forget my favorite saying, it's not the amount of money you make, but the margin that matters the most. We'll see you next time.